Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be talking about Binance Coin, the crypto that has pretty much like its own. I think it's like a brokerage, pretty much just like Coinbase. We're going to be looking at the Binance Coin chart, not really talking about much of the fundamentals. This is going to be purely technical analysis. But before we get into this video, you guys have to tell you that I am not a financial advisor, and the information that you will hear in this video is not financial advice. I'm pretty much just going to be showing you guys how I use pretty much things that I have learned over 6 years of trading and some ICT concepts as well to potentially make money in the crypto markets doing technical analysis, you guys. So let's get straight into this video. All right, you guys. So as you guys can see right here, we have the Binance coin put up right here. BNB USDT is the chart that we are looking at. And this is a 6-month chart, you guys. So I'm going to keep this technical analysis very simple on a 6-month time frame. What I would do is I would measure out this wick right here. Right, the wick that I'm measuring out. Let me zoom in for everybody. All right, the wick that I'm measuring out is this wick right here. As you guys can see, we finally had a close above this wick. If you guys go watch the XRP video that I just posted recently, you guys will see that I was talking about how XRP needed to see like some 6-month bodies close above the midpoint of this six-month wick on XRP, right? This is what we will want to see on XRP, right? So you guys can see we had this very bullish closes above this wick, and then price eventually comes back down. All right, we close outside of this wick right here on this green candle. Price comes back down, give you a midpoint touch right there, and then price shot out a little bit. So just off of this 6-month time frame, if I was in Binance, I would have wanted to have been taking some profits somewhere up here, just taking a little something off the table if I was in Binance. I am not trading Binance myself, you guys, but this is all purely technical analysis, right? Purely technical analysis, all right? So let's lock this up first of all. I'm going to lock this up. All right, so I'm only using the higher time frames, you guys, because what I'm pretty much waiting for is some type of event that can drive a market down really fast and allow people to get back in at really good entries, right? Some people call them liquidity sweeps. Some people call them other things, all right? But that's essentially what I'm looking for. I don't really have any interest in the Binance coin myself unless, let's take a look at the 1-month chart. So on the 1-month chart, I'm seeing a little bit. We don't have a swing high created just yet up here, but it's looking like this is going to end up being a swing high because I don't think that by the end of November, this green candle right here is going to break all the way back up past the high of this wick right here. Right, so it looked like we will create a swing high right there. And then that is going to give me a range where I can use this swing low with my Fibonacci tool from left to right, swing low to swing high, right? Even though this swing high haven't been made yet because this is the 1-month chart, we're going to assume that it's going to be made. So I'm going to give you guys pretty much an analysis for the 1 month right here. We have a gap down here on the 1-month time frame that we can use, right? So what I would do is I will box up this gap just like I'm doing now. And if you don't know the gap that I'm referring to, I'm going to zoom in for you. Right, this is a fair value gap right here. So I'm going to box that up. Let's change it to green. We're going to label this right here. We're going to call it the 1 month fair value gap. Then I'm going to lock that up. And when the market gets down to here, this is going to be a level of interest for me to see, do we just come back down, retest the top of this 6 month wick, and then maybe keep going? Or if we start to break down, this is going to be where I'm first looking at in this area. And that price is $730 and below, right? So that's not too far away. That's only about $200 away. If we go to the weekly time frame, we also need to see how price is going to hold this wick right here, because this is a bullish engulfing, but I don't really like where it's at right now. So if this wick do not hold, that can also be a sign that, we might want to pull back down to the mid 700s, and then we could possibly even go much lower. So Binance is something, like I said, I'm not trading Binance myself, but just based on this price action, like even this order block right here have already failed. This order block is likely to fall, and this order block is likely to be swept out as well. I don't know when, but if you look at the daily, if we look at the daily, this is definitely bearish on the daily as well, in my opinion. All right, we had this inversion fair value gap on the daily time frame. Price went above it, came back down. Now it's reclaimed. Has hit the lower part of that daily inversion fair value gap, and now we're just selling off. So if I was in Binance, I would definitely be a little bit worried. If I was trying to sell at the top, I honestly wouldn't mind. Like let's say if you was in at 500 or 400 or something like that, you may want to take something off the table, in my opinion, because Binance have been just running up for so long. We look at the 1 week chart. It's nothing that give us the too much fear outside of this little area right here. This is just a one big liquidity pool, another liquidity pool right there. And then this right here is another liquidity pool right there. So I would be scared of those areas if I was still in the long. It looked like we could easily come back down to below 500. All right, that's what it's looking like. It looked like we can easily come back down below 500 for the Binance coin. And this is on every time frame. This is on the 1 month, the 6 month, the 1 week, the daily. It's just looking like it's losing some momentum. And that's pretty much all I have for the Binance coin, you guys. Also, I would say keep a note. I think we found this gap on a daily time frame. Some of you who study ICT already know that he tell you guys the midpoint of a wick typically is going to have a gap inside of it on the lower time frames. And that is essentially what we're seeing right here. But pretty much what I was going to say is, like, if you was looking at this from the monthly time frame, always measure out this wick right here. As you guys can see, this box was from the daily fair value gap. So the midpoint of this wick is going to be important. Before we get a actual fall, I think we need to see the midpoint of this wick be touched first. Otherwise, it could just be a fake out to the downside and just keep going higher and higher and higher. So I don't have any Binance coin, but if it can fall low enough, maybe I'll decide to get in there. I mostly focus on like Bitcoin and some other things right now. So we're going to see what Binance do. Let me know what you guys think about the technical analysis down in the chat below. Make sure y'all drop a like on this video. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Always remember, the best way to support the channel is leaving a like, subscribing, and using code KRACKEN if you're going to go out there and buy a prop firm account with E8 Markets, Funder Pro, Alpha Capital. You guys know those are like some of my top 3 of my favorite prop firms right now. And then recently FTMO did come back to the United States, so I'm trying to give FTMO another chance, but the commissions are a little bit too high over there, but we're going to see about that. And I will see you guys in the next video. Make sure to check out all of the other technical analysis video, you guys, and to leave a comment down below and let me know what you guys are thinking as well. I'm going to always try to tell you guys plays that I'm actually looking to get into and things that I'm actually looking to do. But just always remember that it is not financial advice, and I am not a financial advisor. This is just me showing you guys my plan to pretty much use some of these plays to make some money, you guys. So until next time, peace out.